Hello people! Today we're going to be doing my St. Patrick's Day set that I'm calling Full Irish. Even though I'm only a little bit Irish, in case you're wondering, I'm mostly German and Scottish, kind of smothered in American. Anyway, moving on, I'm using these Beaute, if that's how you pronounce it, polishes today. So we're having all the same brand for once. I'm going to start off by going in with white on my ring finger, my middle finger of both hands, and my thumbs, but you won't see a lot of that since I don't show you all that. Now we'll only be putting one coat on the ring finger and the thumbs because we're going to be marbling on top of there, but I wanted a white base underneath. Now this set here, this is what happens when I sit down to do a set and I don't have a game plan. So I'm not super happy with how these came out. I mean, I like parts of them, but as a whole, I don't feel like it really goes together. But anyway, moving on, I'm going to be putting this orange on the pinkies. And whoops, I think I bumped that one on something. And going in with this green on the index fingers. I know from working with this particular green before that this one you have to be super careful with because it likes to wrinkle. So I'm trying to get it as thin as I can on there. Same thing with the white, actually, now that I think about it. And I'm just going to clean up any sloppage. Which occasionally I forget to do. Okay, that's been cured, and I'm going in with the second coat. And as I already said, I will not be putting the second coat on the ring finger, or the thumbs for that matter, which you won't see those anyway, but in case you're wondering. You know, this is one of those sets when I sat down, I knew the colors I was going to use, and I knew I wanted to do a little marbling. But other than that, I had no game plan, so the rest of that was just me winging it, which doesn't always go well for me. I kind of need a plan. Even though sometimes when I start with a plan, it evolves or changes along the way because I decide either I'm not going to like how it looks or I come up with a better idea while I'm working on it. Unfortunately, with this set, I didn't have those inspirations. And when I'm happy with that, I'll get cured. Okay, now we're going to move on to the marble. Now, as you can see, I've already done the rest of them. With the marble, I'm going to have marble on my ring fingers and both thumbs. And this time, I'm just going to make my lines of polish on the palette. Now, this first batch that I did, I got a little too much of the green in there, and I know this is a really strong green, so that's why I doubled up on the white, but I still managed to get way too much green. So that's why if you look at my pictures, you'll see the first one I'm going to do is loaded with green, and the other three are more of a more even marble, I guess I could say. Okay, we'll just add the orange. I'm going to be careful not to touch the other colors and contaminate your polish bottle, so that's why I always check before I put it back in. You'll see it has way too much green. And I already could tell that was going to be too much green, so I was trying to put a little bit more white in there at the beginning, at the outset, but frankly, I needed a lot more. And more orange too. I will adjust this later after I do the first nail. Okay, and I think we're ready to go. I'll just close my polishes up so I don't knock anything over. Okay, now I had originally put some on there, and I forgot to put the base coat on first. So I had to wipe that first batch off and start again. Now I use base coat. If you have a blooming gel, that would probably work better. I don't have any of that. I don't know why. I can't seem to find any of it that's not ink. But base coat works pretty well, so that's what I use. And I don't know what I'm doing now. Okay, now I'm getting my ombre brush, and I'm just going to scoop that up. See all that green? That's just going to be way too much. I should have already realized that before I even started. But since it was on there, I just went with it and kind of tried to adjust as I went along. Now, if you get a lot of it on there, you might want to wipe your brush off, which is what I did. And kind of float it on there. However, whatever kind of marbly design you want. And this is where I'm realizing, oh man, there was way too much green. It's too strong. So now I got to get some other colors in there. Also, I didn't let it sit long enough after I got it all on there before I cured it, so it didn't have time to disperse very well. Normally I like to let them sit for, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute, and disperse into that base coat a little bit before I cure. See, that's way too much green, at least in my opinion. Now, if you really like green, then you might like that like that. Now I'm just trying to get some other color on here a little bit. But when I'm happy with it, I will give it a cure, which I believe I just did. And I am going to go ahead and show you this other one, and then I'll do the rest off camera. You can see on my palette now I have adjusted my polish on there. I've put another white stripe down the middle of the green, and I've added more orange to the mix. So hopefully this will even it out. Well, it did even it out better. But we're going to go again. Just scoop it up. Now sometimes I swirl those stripes together with a dotting tool, but this time I didn't feel like doing that. We're just going to float it on. But now I don't have enough green, so I'm going to scoop it up from the other side this time. Oh, there, that's a good mix, I can tell already looking at the brush. Yeah, we're just going to fill it in however you want to do it. Oh, yeah, that doesn't help when my hands are shaking like that either. Seems like whenever I'm trying to do something delicate, my hands get extra shaky. And there's how that one looks. I think that one came out much better. Okay, now we're moving on. The marbling is done and cured. And you can see the thumbs now. But moving on, I decided to throw some stickers at this. And these are pop finger stickers, which I got off Amazon last year around this time. There was a set of, I believe, 10 of them. 10 different sticker sheets in the pack. So I don't know if they have these again or what, but I'm betting if you look on there, you could find them. And I wanted to use this little leprechaun with the flag on one thumb, and then you won't see till the end, and you also aren't going to see that because I'm out of shot. But the other thumb, I've got the same kind of little leprechaun on there, but he's got a mug of beer in the other one. Well, you can't see him, but he's on there. You'll see them better later. Anyway, I'm going to move on here and try to figure out what I'm going to put where. Now on this one, I was trying to get my stripes to be vertical and straight, and it just, the thing kept moving on me. I had a heck of a time trying to get it to stay and be straight. Sorry, we're out of shot again. Here we go. See, every time I was trying to get it unstuck from my tweezer, it kept moving. And I had a little piece of it that wasn't flush, and I was trying to get it to straighten out. I think I had a little wrinkle on there. Anyway, looking at my thumbs that I see every now and then they come into shot, they kind of remind me of those suckers that you can get that's got kind of a swirly, marbly design of colors in there. Not that it has anything to do with anything, but it just reminded me of that. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to use a gold coin with the clover on the ring finger. And something else I'm going to stick down there. Oh yeah, I was going to use one of those, there's like a tri-colored clover. It kind of looks like a bow tie if you just see it there on the sticker sheet. This is me deciding what I'm going to put on there. But I will, eventually I'm going to pull one of those off. They look like bow ties, but it's actually a clover. And that's going on that one. And then on the pinky, I'm just going to stick some random clovers on there. In hindsight now, having done these, I've come up with other ideas that I should have done, which would have been cute, so I may save that for next year. We'll see how that goes. Now, I did not do any rainbow stuff on this set. Usually I have a rainbow on them somewhere, but I didn't put any on this time. And I'm going to just stick a little white clover at the bottom of the pinky. And then after that, I decided I need another white one on the index finger too, because it looked too bare. Excuse me. Come on. Come on, woman. Decide quicker. Some of this gets cut out because sometimes it takes me so long to decide what I'm going to do that, especially when I don't have a plan going in. Now I'm looking for another one of those white clovers. They're hard to see on there. But there was only a few, so. And we're going to pop that right on there. Wow, there it is. Okay. And I think, well, you still can't see that little guy because he's still out of shot. I think that's all I did. Okay, now we're moving on. I'm going to give these a top coat now just to seal those stickers in and be done with those sticker ones. I'm using a tempered top coat on the top of these. And we'll just go on and hopefully we're going to do these quickly. I thought I sped this section up, but maybe I didn't. Oh, of course there was a hair. Gee whiz, it seems like I'm going in slow motion here. And then on that white nail, I'm going in with a matte top coat, because that one I'm going to be putting crystals on there. And I feel like they stick better, and I don't know, it seems like the sparkles more when they're on matte. I don't know. I guess that's probably just a psychological thing, but I just like the way they look on the matte. And I will give that a cure, and I'll do the rest of them, which I've done. And now we're going to add on the thumbs. I'm going to use carving gel and attempt to make a 4-leaf clover. Which, in hindsight with this part, I think I should have stuck with the 3-leaf clover, because I kind of lost the definition between my clover leaves, having the 4 leaves instead of the 3. Now I'm just going to take this little chunk of stuff and I'm going to break it up, because I just want small little bits. I think I need a little bit more on that one. And then I'm going to take all those little bits. I'm going to make little tiny balls out of them, which I probably shouldn't have been doing with no gloves, but oh well. I don't have that bad of a reaction from this carving gel, so I don't know why, but just a very slight one. Okay, now we got the 4 little balls. Now, as I've said in the past, when I'm using carving gel on stuff, I like to put a little dot of gem glue underneath there to help keep it on. Well, I think I got a little too much glue on this one, because it kind of started to squeeze out between the petals, and I think that might have been part of what caused them to kind of want to mush together. I'm just going to put a blob of glue on. And you may not need to use the glue, but I have found in the past that occasionally when I put little carving gel things on my nails, if I didn't glue them, a while later they would pop off, and then I'd have to glue them on anyway, so I figured I'd just start with the glue in the beginning. But one way or the other, we're going to get all 4 of these on here. I wanted to get them all on at the beginning before I shaped any of them, because that way I figured I'd get my placement better. We're going to get them on there in a clover pattern eventually. And then I'm going to use this little silicone tool with the pointy end instead of an acrylic brush, because I don't know, it just seemed easier at the time. And then we're just going to kind of mash these down into the leaf petals, or what do you want to call them, leaves, clover leaves. First, I'm just kind of mashing them down to get the leaf shape, and then I will go in and make a dent in the top of each one, so they kind of end up being heart-shaped at the end. Now I'm going to try to make the little indents. After this indent part, this is where things started to kind of go wrong. I think I worked them a little too much, and then kind of mushed them together so you couldn't see the definition between the leaves. Also, the glue was starting to squish out of the middle, so it was kind of turning into a muddy mess. I think I ended up cutting part of this off, because I did fuss with this for quite a while. But I'll leave a little bit more on here. I'm just going to keep playing with it till I'm happy with the shape. So you can see the middle of it is kind of shiny looking because, and there was a hair of course, because the glue is squishing up out of there now. And the hair, I guess I didn't get it the first time. Hair or fuzz, something. Something was in there. Now I did try to use the carving gel at one point to make a little stem coming off of there, but it just wasn't looking good, so I scrapped that plan. See how we basically have a round circle thing now with just little dents in it, so I lost all the leaf definition. So yeah, I think three leaves on the clover would have been a much better plan. Of course, you can't see it now. Just when I think I'm getting better at keeping stuff in shot and have issues. Okay, I've cured that. That's all cured and done. And now, as I said, I didn't like the way it was looking for the clover leaf stem with the carving gel. It was I just couldn't get it nice and thin enough to have it look like I liked it, like I wanted. So I'm just going to take and make one little swoop with this green polish for the stem, which frankly doesn't even really show up on there that well. So and I believe I've done that on both of them. I've cured that now. Now I'm moving on to top coating this one. I didn't top coat these when I did the other ones. And I am going to top coat over top of the clover. And you're going to see me wiping off my brush a lot because I'm trying to get the excess top coat out of the clover because I didn't want it all laying in there and just looking like a big wet mess. So I was trying to brush off as much excess of it as I could. And then in trying to get it all around the edge of there, I got slopped all over my finger. So now we have to clean off the top coat. Which you can't really see anyway now because we're out of shot again. Some days you can't win. You can at least see the little leprechaun with the beard on my other thumb now. I was realizing at that point that there was some sloppage of the marble on there too that I didn't clean off before I got cured. Okay, now we're moving on to the crystal placement for the white nail on the middle finger. I've got several sizes of clear, some orange and some green crystals. And those things, you can't really see it on camera, but they're green, glittery, kind of sparkly little gem things. So I just happen to have two of those, so I thought, okay, I'm going to use that for something different. And this is another case of I don't know what I'm going to do exactly. We're just going to plop some glue on here and see where it goes. Other than the fact that I knew I wanted to use those square ones in the middle, I didn't really have a game plan for this either, so this is another just winging it situation. And already after putting that on there, I realized I don't have nearly enough glue on here because that took up the whole area. I just put glue on pretty much. And I'm going to go all the way around that because I'm going to surround that with some other stuff now. At the 4 points, I'm going to add orange crystals, kind of a, not a real big one, but kind of a medium-sized one. Not the tiniest one, but kind of a medium one on the top and the bottom. This is where I struggle too, since I have them by color. I don't have them sorted out by size. Like some of them I do, but most of them I don't. So I have to fish around, try to hope I get two that are the same size. Now I'm going to use a slightly smaller one on the side corners because I don't want to end up running out of room and end up going off the side of the edge of there. And let's try to find one that's the same size. Okay. Now in between all of those along the edge of that green one in the middle, I'm going to put some small, as soon as I quit moving it around, I'm going to add two small clear crystals along those flat edges in there. Once I'm done fussing with that. And now we're going to go all the way around. I'm trying to broaden my horizons a bit and not just do so many of just the crystal cuff or the necklace or that. You know, I'm trying to do some different shapes occasionally here. Now I'm going to get this whole thing all straightened out just how I want it, and then I am going to give that a cure before I do anything else because I didn't want them to keep moving around. Because once you get one of them, it wasn't centered, so I had to move everything. Once you get bump it, the whole thing moves and you got to straighten everything out. Okay, that's been cured. And I'm going to get out caviar beads. I'm using gold for this. That's another thing. I didn't use any gold on these nails, which I usually have on my St. Patrick's stuff. So this was my gold for this. Whenever you see me go off of there and nothing is happening for a while and the camera's shaking around, usually because I'm rooting around in my desk drawer for some kind of a tool, which I needed to get the top off of that thing of caviar beads. Okay, now we need more glue. I'm going to go all the way around this whole thing again with another row of glue. And there's going to be a little bit more at the top and the bottom, actually. Just a skosh more. Some parts I had too much glue, some parts I didn't get enough. Frankly, I should have got my brush out and brushed it on. It would have worked a lot smoother. And now I am going to, right at the center of those white ones, and on top of or above the orange ones, I'm going to put in a little green one on all 4 points, and then right in the center of where the white ones are. It's going to be one green. And I didn't have enough glue down there. And I don't know that I have glue there again. I don't. I'm trying to not slop it on the other crystals either. Alright, get off of there. Okay, and then, as I said, right where in between those two white ones is where I'm going to put another green one. Another small green. I want to do that all the way around. Believe it or not, I did speed this section up a tiny bit, like to 1.5 times, because this did take me a little bit of a while here. Now in between all of those green ones, we're going to put in another clear one. Oops. Trying to escape. Okay, now I'm going to try to get those straightened out and spaced out evenly how I want them to be. And once I'm happy with that, then we're going to go around the edge with the gold caviar beads and put one in between each crystal and at the end of the top and bottom green ones. I didn't put any on the edge of the side ones, on the edge of the side green ones, because I didn't want them that close to the edge of my finger because I knew they were just going to come off anyway. But the rest of these, we're just going to go all the way around. I do not want to cooperate as usual. Vladimir, stop that. Sorry, he's outside the door again. Anytime I'm in a closed room and they can't get to me, they freak out. I'm just adding some more glue, where I can hopefully get the rest of these gold caviar beads in here now. While I'm doing that, I just want to take the time to say thank you guys for watching my little videos. This is a great creative outlet for me. I really enjoy doing the nails. And hopefully you guys can learn a little bit of things here and there. If nothing else, you'll at least learn what not to do. I tend to have a lot of those moments where I do something, it doesn't work out, and I have to redo it. But on the bright side, it's saving you guys from doing the same thing, and then you can avoid those problems. And more glue. This is one of those occasions where I probably should have taken the caviar beads and put them in a little dot of top coat and then put them on. Probably would have been easier. Also, I did notice after I got this all cured, I'm going to straighten it all out now, but after I got it cured and I took a wipe with some alcohol on it and I went over this whole thing to clean off any waxy stuff from the picker-upper, I did notice there was a lot of yellow on my wipe and on the white part of my nail that I believe came off of those caviar beads. I hadn't noticed it before doing that, but okay, now I've cured that, and now I'm going to go in and I've cleaned that all up. I cleaned the yellow off of there that got on there that I was just talking about, and now I'm going in with a final coat of matte top just to get any places where there's glue to be covered. I'm going to butt that up right against the edge of there. And once I get that on and I'm happy with it, I will give that a cure. And then we will be done. I'm just trying to make sure I don't have any lines from the top coat. I want to make sure it's all straight and smoothed out nicely before I cure. And I think I slopped some on here. I may have to do a little cleanup, or maybe not. I'm not sure. Yep. Pretty much that's inevitable. You guys don't see me doing that a lot of the time, but I do that a lot. Plus the little end of my brush kept coming off the handle, which was not. And I've glued that darn thing on a million times. And here we are, all finished. That's what we have. If you liked my video, please give me a like. And if you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe. And we're going to have one shot eventually. Oh, no, you're going to see them again. See how much green is on that one ring finger as opposed to the other one? And there's my little rainbows, yeah, leprechauns. And there's a better close-up shot. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.